in one-syllable words, this is as good as it gets. First, Frank Bidart.
Thank you. How are we doing in terms of volume? Is that good? I just published a new book, and it has a number of different kinds of things in it. Some political poems, a translation of a poem by Du Fu. But I want to follow the trail of one subject as it goes through a number of poems. And this is not all the poems in the book that bear on this subject, but at least it suggests something of a theme that runs through. And I guess I would simply call it love and art. The old man at the wheel. Measured against the immeasurable universe, no word you have spoken brought light. Brought light to what as a child you thought too dark to be survived. By exorcism, you survived. By submission, then making. You let all the parts of that thing you would cut out of you enter your poem, because enacting there all its parts allowed you the illusion you could cut it from your soul. Dilemmas of choice, given what cannot change, alone roused you to words. As you gripped the things that were young when you were young, they crumble in your hand. Now you must drive west, which in November means driving directly into the sun. Poem ending with 3 lines from Home on the Range. Barred from the pool 23 years ago, still I dove straight in. You loved to swim, but saw no water. Whenever Ray Charles sings, I can't stop loving you, I can't stop loving you. Whenever the unstained by guilt, cheerful chorus belts out the title as his voice, sweet and haggard reminder of what can never be remedied. Answers, correcting the children with, it's useless to say. The irreparable enters me again. Again me it twists. The red man was pressed from this part of the West. 'Tis unlikely he'll ever return to the banks of Red River, where seldom, if ever, their flickering campfires burn. Seduction. Show him that you see. He carries always, everywhere, an enormous, almost impossible to balance or bear statue of himself, burden that flattering him dwarfs him like you. Make him see that you alone decipher within him the lineaments of the giant. Make him see that you alone can help him shape the inchoate works of his hand, till what the statue is, he is. He watches your helpless gaze. Your gaze tells him that the world someday must see. You are the dye whose color dyes the mirror he can never get free. You ask, what is this place? He says, the kids come to make out here. He is driven out here to show you Lover's Lane. Because your power in the world exceeds his, he must make the first move. His hand on the car seat doesn't move. He's Raleigh attending Elizabeth, still able to disguise that he does not want her. In banter and sweet colloquy, he freely, abundantly shows you that what his desire is endless intercourse with your soul. Everything he offers by intricate omissions displays what he denies you. Beneath all, the no that you persuade yourself can be reversed. You cannot reverse it, as if he is safe from engulfment only because he has placed past reversal the judgment that each animal makes facing another. You are an animal facing another. Still, you persuade yourself that it can be reversed because he teasingly sprinkles evasive accounts of his erotic history with tales of dissatisfying but repeated sex with men. He adds that he could never fall in love with a man. Helplessly, he points to the soiled statue he strains to hold unstained above him. He cannot. You must write this without the least trace of complaint. Standing at the edge of the pool, for him, there was no water. You chose him not despite, but because of. In the 23 years since breaking with him, his specter insists that no one ever replaces anyone. He's the dye whose color dyes the mirror. You can never get free. What is it that impels? What is it that impels us, at least in imagination? What is it that impels us, at least in imagination, to close with, to interpenetrate flesh that accepts, craves interpenetration from us, with us? What is it? What? Sweet cow, to heal the world, you must jump over the moon. All you ask is immolation. Fantastic love resistlessly drawn out of a withdrawn creature who must turn himself inside out to give it. Dream, coexistent with breathing. Near the end, when the old absorbing colloquy begins again, both he and you find yourselves surrounded by ash. To his meager, circumscribed desire, whose no you knew from the beginning, that you want to pluck out of your eye forever, you submit as if in mourning. To ash, he too submits. In revenge, you chose submission, chose power. Valentine. How those now dead use the word love. Bewildered and disgusted the boy, who resolved he would not reassure the world he felt love until he understood love. Resolve that too soon crumbled when he found within his chest something intolerable, for which the word, because no other word was right, must be love, must be love. Love, craved and despised and necessary, the great American songbook said, explained our fate. My bereft grandmother, bereft father, bereft mother, their wild regret, how those now dead use love to explain wild regret. With each fresh death, the soul rediscovers woe. From the world that called you Pinion, not one voice is now not stopped. Pinion, little pine nut, sweet seed of the pine tree, which is evergreen. Soul that discovered itself as it discovered the irreparable, breaking through ice to touch the rushing stream, whose skin breaking allowed darkness to swallow blonde-haired Ramona. In 1944, age 6, high in the cold evergreen Sierras. As you, age 5, luckily were elsewhere, but forever after soul there, failing to pull her for years of nights from the irreparable. You cannot rest. The trick was to give yourself only to what could not receive what you had to give, leaving you as you wished, free. Still, you court the world by enacting yet once more the ecstatic rituals of enthrallment. You cannot rest. The great grounding events in your life wait, lodged past change, like the sweetest, most fantastical myth, enshrining yet enslaving promise. The great grounding events that left you so changed, you cannot conceive your face without their happening. Happened when someone could receive. Just as she once did, he did, past judgment of pain or cost. Could receive, did. Quote, you who never lied about what you at every moment carried. The shameful, new, incomprehensible disease, which you whose religion was candor couldn't bear not to hide. Now that you have been dead 13 years, I again see you suddenly lay out my coat across your bed, caressing it as if touch could memorize it. No, you're flattening, then smoothing its edges until under your hand, as I watch, it becomes hieratic, an icon. What I seized on as promise was valediction. Song. At night, inside in the light, when history is systole, diastole, awake, I am the moment between. At night when I fold my limbs up till they fit in the tiniest box, I'm a multiple of 0. In the sun, even a tick feeding on blood to his sorrow becomes visible. A bat who grows in love with the sun becomes sick unless disabused of the illusion he and the sun are free. Surreal God, you too a multiple of 0. You who make all roads lead nowhere. Surreal God, I find nothing except you beautiful. When thus in ecstasy I lie to the God of necessity, he replies, the world he has devised is a labyrinth, where travelers at last achieve to their dismay eternal safety in eternal night. Columbus is dead, so try as you will, you cannot make me feel embarrassment at what I find beautiful. And the last poem I'm going to read is a sestina. If see no end in is. What none knows is when, not if. Now that your life nears its end, when you turn back, what you see is ruin. You think it is a prison. No, it is a vast resonating chamber in which each thing you say or do is new, but the same. What none knows is how to change. Each plateau you reach, if single, limited only itself, includes traces of all the others, so that in the end, limitation frees you. There is no end. If you once see what is there to see, you cannot see what is there to see. Not when she whose love you failed is standing next to you. Then, as if refusing the knowledge that life unseparated from her is death, as if again scorning your refusals, she turns away. The end achieved by the unappeased is burial within. Familiar spirit, within whose care I grew, within whose disappointment I twist, may we at last see by what necessity the double bind is in the end the figure for human life. Why what we love is precluded always by something else we love, as if each no we speak is yes. Each yes, no. The prospect is mixed, but elsewhere the forecast is no better. The eyrie where you perch in exhaustion has food and is out of the wind, if cold. You feel old, young, old, young. You scan the sea for movement, though the promise of sex or food is the prospect that bewildered you to this end. Something in you believes that it is not the end. When you wake, 6th grade will start. The finite you know You fear is infinite. Even at 11, what you love is what you should not love, which endless bullies intuit unerringly. The future will be different. You cannot see the end. What none knows is when, not if. Thanks.